Faustino takes the Ballista here and plays a Ballista for 3, it's likely that Elkins is locked out of playing Magus of the Moon. If she plays the World Breaker, hoping to cast it, takes World Breaker, hoping to cast next turn, then Magus could catch her.
No, we're going to see Ballista again for 3. I'm going to shoot twice, take care of that. So now we're going to head back over to Justin Elkins, who's got to contend with a walking Ballista again. That'll be a Wooded Foothills. This is a Lightning Bolt. And Elkins has sequenced this pretty nicely because now he can sacrifice the fetch land and play that Magus of the Moon.
Yep. So Faustino here has made enough land drops where she isn't completely locked out of this. And she's at 17, so a lot of cushion to play with here too. But Elkins at least has staved off the worst of it for a little bit.
We're going to see a Sylvan Scrying here. Sylvan Scrying will resolve, and we'll see exactly what Anneliese would like to get. I'll be thinking Sanctum of Ugin here, and that'll be the land. It is a mountain currently, of course. And now here comes Oblivion Stone. We will head back over to Justin Elkins, who would love to have an Abrade right now, a card he has 2 copies of. And for 2 comes Elkins. It's 15 all. And now Justin will simply pass the turn back over to Faustino. Faustino will draw Ulamog in hand. More importantly, Oblivion Stone at the ready. Here's the attack. 2 damage will be dealt. Going to use that life total as a resource right now. And now here's your Oblivion Stone activation to clear away the Magus of the Moon. Turn the mana back online. Faustino will draw a copy of Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Well, we might be done here in just a moment, folks. And there is Ugin. Trigger the Sanctum, of course. Going to go digging and most likely for a Wormcoil Engine, but we'll see what Faustino decides upon. There's the big 6/6 with Lifelink and Death Touch. Can't forget about the Ugin that's resolved as well. And I presume the elevator will go up on that Planeswalker here in just a moment.
And this is the tough part of the matchup from Elkins' side compared to a burn deck is Faustino at 13. Elkins has to do most of his work in combat to finish off an opponent, and I think Faustino's pretty much unassailable from this position.
It's a pretty big ask. It's a pretty big ask. This is the power of Tron, playing against a low-to-the-ground red deck that has Magus of the Moon in it. It resolved. Tron was able to kill it, and now it's working on killing Elkins. This deck certainly can be impressive, I tell you what. That's a Monastery Swift Spear. And if you're Elkins, your best hope here is ignoring that Ugin, I think. But he will go after Ugin. Bring it down to 8. Here's Magus of the Moon. Well, unfortunately for Justin, Ugin can take care of that. Another Ugin was the draw. Not great in multiples, I suppose. There's your shot, as Ugin will go up to 10. And now there's a Wormcoil Engine. Once the deck assembles Tron, as most of you do know, it's pretty tough to beat. Justin Elkins will concede the game, and Anneliese Faustino going to win game number 1 here over Justin Elkins. Mono green Tron, too powerful. Up a game here over Bomat Red. We'll go to the sideboards here, see what Elkins can do to shore things up, and he's got some useful ones in those 15 cards. 3 Goblin Chain World, 3 Dragon's Claw, and more importantly, 3 Blood Moon, along with 2 Dismember, 2 Fairy Macabre, and 2 Smash to Smithereens.
The 3 Blood Moons to get top billing here. And with Elkins having 4 copies of Searing Blades that he needs to cut, I would find room for the 2 Smash to Smithereens. I don't think they're the most reliable cards against Green Tron because so many of their artifacts just sort of cycle or trivial to sacrifice. But with 4 Searing effects in the deck, it's easy enough to make room for those.
We will take a look now at Anneliese's sideboard of 4 Nature's Claim. 3 Thragtusk, 3 Thought-Knot Seer, 2 Spatial Contortion, a Grafdigger's Cage, a Trinosphere, and a Horping Whale.
So the 2 Spatial Contortions and the 3 Thragtusks are great here. I like Thought-Knot Seer as well. Mixture of a body that's hard for red to get off the battlefield, plus a little bit of hand disruption. You can find room for a little bit of Nature's Claim. It's an answer to Eidolon of the Great Revel, and you can also cast it on some of your cycling artifacts to gain a little bit of life.
Those are the options. big thing here, and I know you've mentioned this in the past in Modern, a lot of the matchups kind of boil down to who's on the play.
Yeah, well, I mean, very few things are as representative of that as Urzatron versus Blood Moon. Whoever gets to go first, when those are the defining cards, very likely to win the game.
Well, as these players do sideboard and shuffle up here for game number 2, both 6-0, looking to be on top of the standings at 7-0, we are going to turn our attention towards the StarCityGames.com newsletter. It is your source for Magic the Gathering news. Patrick, it's free, and there's some cool stuff going on.
Oh, yeah, you can it gets sent to you once a week, and there's all sorts of information in the newsletter, highlights from some of SCG's best articles, upcoming SCG Tour dates and locations, possibility storm, puzzle solutions. You can find the IQs and game nights closest to you, and as Cedric mentioned, signing up is free at go.starcitygames.com/newsletter.
Let's get ready for game number 2, shall we? Should be fun to watch here, as we'll see if Justin Elkin can put another win on the board here. Gave Ross Merriam his first loss. Looking to do the same thing here for Anneliese Faustino. So again, did make the top 8 of our no ban list Modern Open earlier this year.
So to get back to the real focus here,
yes,
which is the karaoke stylistic differences.
I agree.
When I say performer, when describing Matthias Hunt versus Elkins, not so much. One of them dances while they sing.
Matthias dances?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Nice. A little surprised Matthias dances.
He brought the house down with Cher's Do You Believe, which was not something I expected to be in Matthias's wheelhouse. He killed it. And there was some sort of hip swaying action going on the whole time with, of course, he had his hat on during this performance. It was really something to behold.
I'm now sad I missed that moment. Hopefully that moment can somehow come back again. We're having, I think we're at SCG-Con Winter.
Yeah.
We'll have another little karaoke fest after party. And maybe I get the option to see it in action there. I actually think I'm going to do karaoke one of these times too. Haven't pulled it out yet.
Okay.
I have a go-to song and everything, so I'm ready to roll. I just got to get in the right zone. That's code word for something else.
Right.
But I think
enhanced.
Yeah.
I just need to be. I had to have the right level of augmentation.
Yes. All of those things. Yes. We are underway here in game number 2. It's a mountain to start for Elkins. In Urza's mind there for Faustino. Well, Elkins, if he's not doing anything on the first 2 turns, I think we know what's going on here. There's a tower.
Some moons over my hammy.
Yeah. Show me a blood moon or a Magus of the Moon, sir. Oh, no, maybe no third land? Okay, there we go. The plan is simple. Lock out the Tron lands. Here is Magus of the Moon. Going with that, and you saw the blood moon in hand, right?
Yeah, if he gets tagged with a spatial contortion here.
Which I think he's going to, yeah. Does Faustino have Tron now, too? All right, the answer is no. Sanctum of Ugin. Going to go to O-Stone. Yeah, now Elkins needs to get on the battlefield somehow. There's Blood Moon. There's a land. Here's Bomat Courier. All right, I like this better.
Still would like to find an Abrade or a Smash to Smithereens here.
Yes, totally agree with that. Chromatic Star of the draw. Mine Tower, Sanctum of Ugin, and it looks like might be another tower here. And Faustino will actually start with the Chromatic Star. Sacrifice that, draw a card. Picked up a copy of Walking Ballista. Ballista's actually not bad here. Here's a Sylvan Scrying. Scrying will allow Faustino to search up a forest, it appears, or it could be the missing Tron piece.
Once again, Turbo players, both Legacy and Modern Turbos, your round one.
Considering the power plant and forest now is Anneliese. Consulting the hand as well. So here's the tricky thing about Tron. You think you're doing well with a Blood Moon, but Oblivion Stone gives you a nice answer to that and buys you a lot of time. to break out of the Blood Moon and be able to get your engine online.
And also post-board, if you just side into enough Thrag Tusks, you can hopefully buy a ton of time that way.
And that'll be another Bomac Courier hit and card. Be a good time for Smash the Smithereens. That's a good time for that. That is going to take care of the Oblivion Stone.
Yeah, big win there for Elkins. Try to keep this Blood Moon in play for as long as he possibly can.
However, it looks like a problem might be on the way here as Faustino will play another tower. And now there's a Thragtusk trigger. 5 life for Anneliese. Up to 20. And we'll go back over to Justin Elkins. A Lightning Bolt on the end step is going to take care of the front half of Thragtusk. Beast Token on the way. You might have a Todd Anderson appearance here in just a moment. And there's a Beast. That's a Puggernaut. That is literally a Puggernaut. That is not a Beast. Here's a Magus of the Moon. There's a Wizard's Lightning. All right, let's get in there.
Okay.
We'll get a Beast token for Well, actually, we don't need it. We don't need the token anymore because it got bolted. But I swear, Todd Anderson, you could have had some camera time. It's unfortunate for you, friend. And there's another Urza's Land.
And you can see the problem here with trying to play this ponderous of a game against Tron is now Faustino's at a spot where she can just start casting this stuff, and she's at 20.
Like this Walking Ballista for 3, for example. Going to shoot down that Bomac Courier. No card advantage there.
Yeah, Elkins really needed the second wave of cards to be able to have enough to work with here. And now, even with these various Blood Moon effects, he feels behind in this game.
Here comes Magus of the Moon. And you mentioned he's got no shortage of Blood Moon effects. That's 2 Blood Moons and a Magus of the Moon. And who's winning this game? I would argue Anneliese.
Yeah. Not a lock by any means. I think her leftovers in hand are just some cyclers, but she's drawing to pretty much any big play.
There's a Chromatic Sphere. Sacrifice that for a green mana. Draw a card. Picked up a Ghost Quarter. That black die will represent the mana that is floating right now for our Tron player. Well, she will use that for an expedition map. That is a forest. This will not be an attack. We'll go back over to Justin Elkins. Here's a Monastery Swissbeard. And now a Rift Bolt will go after the Ballista. Four mana will activate the Ballista, put a counter on. And I'm curious which of these creatures Anneliese would like to kill between Magus of the Moon and Monastery Swissbeard.
With Elkins being empty-handed, my instinct is to go after the Magus, but I don't think it matters too much.
Well, Swissbeard down. We head back over.
Yeah, just because he's empty-handed, it's hard. He has to draw really well to couple together it as a 2-power creature. The Magus is naturally a 2-power creature, so.
Looks like there's a Ghost Quarter to go along with the Sanctum of Ugin. And just the passing of the turn. So, Elkins' Blood Moon effects, at least for right now, well, they're doing a little bit, but ultimately, what's missing here for Anneliese is she will search up a land. What's missing here is just a payoff. She can cast them all.
Yeah, any big play now, even through the Blood Moons, she can play with ease. And she has Oblivion Stone in hand as well, so she can clear up the battlefield when she's ready.
Chromatic Star the draw. Power Plant the play. Sack the Star, draw a card. Another Power Plant. I actually think there's a Nature's Claim in hand too. So these Blood Moon effects very beatable. Something we've seen from Tron for so long as we go back over to Elkins. He'll draw a card. This is a Monastery Swissbeard. That will be an attack for 3. Faustino's going to fall down to 10. Faustino not willing to expose Oblivion Stone until able to play and activate all at once. And now Karn Liberated is the draw. Speaking of Oblivion Stone, there that is. Pass the turn back. Here comes the attack. 3 damage will be dealt. A little bit risky.
Yeah, that's a risky hit to take. But with no white mana in the deck, there really isn't a whole lot that deals 4. So if it needs to be 3 spells.
I think Stirrings is a pretty good place to start, actually. Nature's Claims, Thrag Tusk, but the cards that are selectable here are Ugin and Walking Ballista.
With Karn and Faustino's hand, my instinct is to take the Ballista because it gives you the most insurance against any sort of haste play. Looks like she has come to the same conclusion.
There's Karn. Trigger the Sanctum. Sanctum will most likely find Wormcoil Engine just like it did in game number 1.
No, go get. Oh, okay, fine.
What do you want to get?
I won't go get his lands.
Oh, you want to get Ulamog?
You have a Karn already.
Yeah?
That's all of them.
Not sure if Ulamog's still in the deck after sideboard.
Probably not.
Pretty expensive threat. Though, she is going after the lands. Ramunap Ruins will be the first one. Here comes Wormcoil Engine. Elkins will draw. Justin needs to smash the Smithereens pretty bad now. Because he is in some trouble. And that'll be an Eidolon. A little late. Here's Ugin the Spirit Dragon, and that is an extension of the hand. Anneliese Faustino going to win this match over Justin Elkins. 2-0. And for Mono Green Tron, going to take care of Bomat Red. Anneliese going to be putting together a nice weekend so far. 7